Hello everyone, I am Aman and welcome back to Master Chess. Today I am going to provide you the coverage of the Magnus Carlsen Invitational Finals. So the rapid section was tied between Nepomniachtchi and Anish Giri, and the 5+3 format Blitz was played. So this is the first game of the Blitz in the 5+3 format, and here Anish Giri is white, Nepo is black, and Anish opens with the move 1 e4, c5, knight to f3 and e6. Here Anish Giri plays the move c3, trying to transpose it into the Sicilian Alapin, and Nepo plays the move d5, e5, knight to c6 and d4. Here if you look carefully, this position is the French advance, and here Nepo played bishop to d7, and here I would like to show you a trap. After queen b6, white can play bishop to d3, and if you take here and after takes, if you make the mistake of taking with the knight, it's gonna be a huge blunder, because after takes and if you take with the queen, bishop to b5 will lose your queen. So therefore, bishop to d7 was played in the game, and now bishop to e2, knight g to e7, knight to a3, and now c takes, knight to g6. As you can see, Nepo is trying to build up pressure on the e5 pawn. Here, knight to c2 was played, f6. Now Nepo wants to certainly remove the pawn from the e5 square, e takes, g takes. But here, the computer says that queen takes would have been a better move, because white has ideas like bishop d3 and short castles or even long castles later in the game. Now castles, bishop to d6, g3 and h5. Nepo is trying to go for the attack down the king side. Bishop to d3 attacking the loose knight on g6, and now knight c to e7, just defending the knight and trying to play solidly. Knight to e3 and h4, trying to attack down the king side with his rooks and his pieces. Knight to g4, attacking the f6 pawn and threatening to capture it with check. So king to f7, just defending it. Rook to e1. Here in this position, the computer suggests a ridiculous move, knight to g5, and after takes, it says white is better, for the simple reason that now white has a threat. Let me show you. Now if black plays a simple move like a6, they simply can come queen to f3. Now you might be thinking, what's the problem with blocking with the knight? Of course you can't do that, because then your queen would be hanging. Therefore black needs to go king to g8, and in that variation we can just take with the bishop, and there is no need to tell that this position is simply winning for white. This knight can't take this bishop because this knight is pinned out here. Therefore this is a good position for white. And here after takes, to stop that, to make the move knight f5 when queen f3 comes, if you try queen f8, then white can still go, and here white can go knight to f6, queen g4 is incoming after bishop c6, and rook to e1, and you can capture the e6 pawn with check, and there is nothing black can do about it. So therefore this position is good for white. And in this but in the game, rook to e1 was played, queen to f8, and now knight to e5 check. The idea is correct, but the square is wrong, and this is a bad move by Anish Giri, as it does. And the difference in g5 and e5 is that after takes, the e5 is blocked, and the e6 pawn will not be a target for white. Bishop to c5, here Nepo is completely better. Bishop to g5, h takes, and now bishop to c6, maybe with ideas of d4 and mating down the h file. Now rook to c1 was played, which is a devastating blunder, because what do you think? Is the bishop important or is the king important? There you go. The move d4 comes. Has Nepo blundered his bishop? No, he hasn't, because he has a mate threat on h1. Now he plays bishop to e4, exchanging the bishops. In this position, white is already down material and he doesn't want to exchange pieces, but he has to. And therefore this position, even for this move, even further weakens white's position. Bishop takes, rook takes, and now knight to f5, launching the defense of the queen on the bishop. Queen to a4, here white has a lickering move, queen to d7, but it's not that useful because black can simply come back with bishop to e7. So Anish Giri realizes this and plays the move bishop to rook to c8. Therefore Anish Giri realizes and now played bishop to f6. Here Nepo thinks for quite some time and plays the biggest blunder of the game, rook to h7. Pause the video and think that why this is a blunder. Ready? The simple reason being that now the defense of this rook has been left and Anish Giri immediately pounced on queen to d7 check. Here black has 2-3 options. Let's explore them one by one. If he goes queen to e7, then this is simply lost. Therefore, he can go knight to e7, but after takes, you can't take with the bishop because this hangs, and if you take with this knight, rook to f4 comes and you lose the queen. Therefore, in the game, knight g to e7 was played, takes, queen takes, and now rook takes c8. This rook was hanging, it's all over. Just formalities left. Nepo continued for a few moves, but it's a completely lost position. And he was very angry on himself because he has blundered a completely winning position to a completely lost position. Bishop to b6 and knight to f6 attacking the rook. Rook to g7, queen to h8, and in this position, no grandmaster would mess up this position. d3 trying to gain some counterplay and in hopes that the plan would promote, but that was not the case. Queen to h5 check, rook to g6. And final move from Anish Giri, rook to g4, pinning the rook, and there's no way you can save it. So here in this position, Nepomniachtchi resigned the game, and there came an end to a very topsy-turvy and exciting game. So friends, I hope you like this game. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to Master Chess and do drop your comments in the comment section below. Thank you.